All right, gifts to avoid. Please don't click off this podcast before we go over this because this is important so you don't get in trouble with your spouse or loved one. You should never give anything with the message of like, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pre-Diet Podcast. My name is Allie Virtue. I'm the host and the owner of Parkside Nutrition. I am a functional medicine nutritionist. And hopefully, my job is to teach you all what you need to know so you don't feel like you need to start another diet on Monday, teaching you all the things before you get discouraged, especially during this holiday season, because this is when your skills get put to the test. So today is going to be a really fun episode. We are talking gifts. I really wanted to share some of the tools that I found really useful for myself in my health journey, but also the gifts that clients have found really helpful along their health journey. So this could be for someone who's wanting to get healthy or that person who is already super health conscious, wellness enthusiast, etc. Because I'm going to be real honest about what I think is worth the money and what I think is not. So this is hopefully very practical for you, not gimmicky. We're actually going to talk about what these things cost, what are some better brands versus others, and doing all of that in a really positive way. I'm also going to talk about what gifts not to buy if someone is trying to get healthy. That's also really important. I'll share a little story about that. And at the very end, we also have a list of stocking stuffers because this is a tradition in my family that I absolutely love. And I really appreciate my family is so on board with trying to make the holidays still fun, but they're still health promoting. We still have some treats, but I just love the balance that we've found. And I want to share how we do that. So also, I know the list is long, people. So I'm also going to put a resource together, big long list with some links. I get no affiliation credit for any of this stuff. I literally just looked it up on Amazon to get kind of a price range or just illustrate some of the things that I think are really helpful. I get absolutely no kickbacks from any of this stuff, but I do want to provide you with a list with those clickable links if you're listening to this versus watching it, because I think it's really helpful. I'm a visual person anyway, so without anything else, let's dig into it. Also, if you're watching this, I'm very much going with my, what's it called? The trend now with Instagram stories, my public story versus my private story. No makeup, no nothing. This is what I look like after the gym, after doing horse chores. And because I'm embracing that this holiday season is busy and I want to get things done more so than I want things to be perfect. But I still think I got a lot of value for you guys. Also, on that note, a quick reminder, if you're not following on Instagram and YouTube, one, what are you doing? Two, because people are really loving the menu reviews I've been doing. I've been calling it How to Order Like a Pro because I want to teach you how to order from any menu, but especially going through a lot of right now fast food chains. And next up is, I think, McDonald's on my list. We've covered Taco Bell, we've covered a couple local ones, and they've been really well received. I do a YouTube video kind of going into how I do it. Also, in the caption has a bunch of information as far as my top meals. And then I do a version for Instagram, which is just a carousel post. And again, you can kind of save it and just have it in your back pocket. And next time you go to that restaurant and you know some healthier options, you know what I would pick, why, et cetera, et cetera. So people are really loving those. So if you like that type of content, it's super handy, super easy to implement. That would be a great place to follow along. YouTube and Instagram, they're all linked in the caption below. And if you have a place that I should review, go ahead and send me a message or leave a comment. I would love to add that to my list. All right, so my first thoughts with this topic, I did some research, but I kind of wrote down a list. And the first things that come to mind as me as a healthy person, I think you got to have good gym clothes. Really good, comfortable, high quality gym clothes, as high quality as you can afford or are comfortable spending. I don't think you have to go bankrupt over this, but it really helps when you look forward to putting on your gym outfit and that you feel really comfortable in it. I have embraced this so much that I jokingly say all the time that I am allergic to jeans because I just love wearing yoga pants. I don't do yoga, but I probably have invested stock at this point into Lululemon. And there's a couple other brands, and there's definitely dupes out there that so you don't have to spend that much on clothing like that. But I really, really, really recommend spending or finding really good quality workout gear. Ladies, especially stuff that you can squat comfortably in and know that your underwear is not showing from behind you. So invest in good gym clothes. I would say other ladies have said a good sports bra. I don't really have a problem in that department. So find some sports bras. I prioritize my budget with the pants. If my pants feel good, I have a bunch of cheap t-shirts from like 5Ks or charity events or stuff like that. I don't really need like I don't need every day to have like a cute shirt. So I definitely prioritize pants. After that, probably shoes, because I feel like that has more value, more impact in how I feel in my workouts. Next on my list is warm winter coats. Anything that gets your butt outside and enjoying this lovely Oregon rain that I'm currently staring at. Hopefully, maybe you live in somewhere warmer. That's wonderful. But whatever outside gear you need to stay outside most of the year, get your steps in. I really prefer people to get their steps in outside because I think there's a whole bunch of benefits. Sunlight to our eyeballs helps regulate our circadian rhythm, so many things. So, warm winter gear, wet gear, whatever you need if you're a runner, if you need an umbrella, if you need better shoes, if you need waterproof shoes, whatever that entails, do that, invest in that. That will hopefully one get you a little bit more excited, at least more prepared to be out in the elements and still keep active and still keep moving. Keeping an active lifestyle is one of the best ways to predict that you will be successful long term with any health endeavor, longevity, weight loss, etc. Along the lines of shoes, I would really recommend that you get good fitting shoes. That might sound like obviously, Allie, duh. But I had the pleasure of going to a Fleet Feet store in California a couple years ago. My in-laws bought us gift cards to get our shoes like fitted to us. So that was really cool. Gallagher's, if you're local to the Salem, Oregon area, also is a really cool local store that does the same thing. But they have really, really good high quality staff that help you find the right shoe. So based on the exercise, whether you are a runner, whether you like lifting, whether you are kind of like a triathlete, multidiscipline person, etc. And they watch you walk and watch you move and make sure that the shoe is actually going to fit you really well. It's not going to move around on you. It's not going to cause any sores or anything like that. So highly recommend if you've never had that experience, investing in shoes that are really fitted to you. All right, so for this next thing, I find this incredibly helpful. This is probably one of my favorites because it is so affordable and so cheap and just it works. It freaking works. Whether you get more steps from going to the gym, whether you get more steps from just creating an active lifestyle, step counter can be so influential in you just getting more movement. And it doesn't get any cheaper than this. This is like less than 20 bucks. I think you could probably find cheaper ones, but this is pretty similar to the actual model that I got. Very first kind of, it's not a smartwatch. It's quite dumb, but but it does count your steps. And it was really instrumental. Once I knew how many steps I was getting, then I could improve it. Then I can change it. If you have no idea how many steps you're getting, you probably have no idea how inactive you are. Even if you think, oh, I do lots of around the house and I don't sit down very often, etc. Until you're tracking your steps with something like this, you probably don't know. So this is a great place to start. I love to give these away because it's just really insightful. Everybody thinks they need to buy the fanciest, the nicest thing, like the Apple Watch, the new Garmin watches. Those are great, but I would say start with one of these. And then if you prove to yourself that, hey, I'm using this, this is a really helpful tool. Maybe this breaks after a couple months, which let's face it, it's still worth it. When I bought my $20 watch, I think it lasted like a year or two. So still a great investment, very affordable. I liked that it wasn't super connected to my phone, so I wasn't getting these notifications from other things. It allowed me to focus better. So I kind of like that part of not being super connected, not being a super smart watch. You can always get a fancier one, but make sure that we're using it first. Another thing on my list that might be a little unconventional would be getting blood work. Hopefully you're getting blood work through your primary care physician on a regular basis. But I talk to a lot of people that maybe don't have a great relationship with their primary care provider, or for whatever reason, they don't want to use the insurance route for whatever reason. So I do have the ability now to order lab work through FullScript. FullScript is a fantastic platform. You have to submit your credentials, so not just anybody can just get an account with them. And I use them to recommend supplements because they have a huge range of brands and products. So it really allows me, I think, to feel pretty objective that I can suggest the right product that fits their budget, their needs, their health needs, etc. And now they've upgraded to consolidating into a lab platform as well. So they have access to multiple different labs, which really helps out if people are kind of spread all over the place. It will find the lab that is closest to that person's location, and that's the most affordable option for them. It also itemizes every single lab marker on the order, so you can see exactly how much everything costs. So if something is a little bit more expensive, say your provider or your nutritionist wanted to test your insulin resistance, and that marker was $50, $80. And you're like, hey, how necessary is this particular marker? It goes a little over my budget. Is there something else that we can use? And so you can know that. So I really like it. It's at least very transparent in that sense. So you know exactly how much your bill is before you say, yes, I want this, which doesn't usually happen in the traditional medicine route. I have insurance as well, and it's not cheap. I definitely want to make my insurance give me the most that I possibly can out of it. But this is a nice other option. This is another super simple one. Get somebody a really nice water bottle. It sounds so silly, and I know a lot of people have a ton of water bottles or thermoses or things like that. I mean, I have like two on my desk right now, but I've been dreaming about this one personally. So the Hydro Jug, it's kind of a take on the Stanley, but it has a couple other features that I really like. You don't have to get this one, but really take the time to maybe get a really cool water bottle for someone because I find that people don't hydrate very well, myself included. So I find that I do better drinking more water when I have a water bottle that really works with my lifestyle. So I have a couple different sizes. If I'm going out in the car for a really long time, I have like the gallon one that I can refill my smaller water bottle that I have in my purse because I don't want to carry a big 40 ouncer in my purse most of the time. So have a little think, maybe try to be sneaky and talk to somebody about what they might really like, get it in a favorite color or something. But if they really like it, they'll carry it around, they'll use it. So put a little bit extra thought maybe into finding a really good one for them. The only caveat with these is I would just make sure that it's made out of glass or stainless steel, ideally not anything plastic. Okay, this one I really love. I absolutely love our little teapot because we get a lot of teas in bulk because we go through a lot of teas. So if you buy it in bulk in loose leaf form, having one of these is super helpful. I might be convinced to get a couple just because we have broken a few. They're glass, things drop, things break, etc. But I really, really love these. We actually got an extra one coming up for the holidays because we'll have more tea drinkers visiting, and that way you can have multiple different types of tea without cleaning it out. But anyway, really, really love having something like this around. My husband has one at his office as well for his break room, and everybody loves it. And this teapot's only like $30. I think you can find them cheaper. We did get a couple at IKEA and they were even cheaper than this price on Amazon. So lots of options, shop around, find one you like. There's lots of cute designs too, but I'm kind of partial to the plain one. Right now I want to move into the kitchen things. What's most helpful? What is a waste of money? So this I really love. It's a food scale. This might be a weird gift, but if somebody's really serious, or maybe they are working with a coach that's going to require them to use a food scale, this is really helpful. The reason I picked this one, I tried to find a cheaper one. The one I got is honestly like $15. The reason I got this one, and I really prefer, this is the only important detail with this, is try to get one that has a slightly slanted front right here, because if you see a lot of them that are completely level, well, if they're completely level and you put a big plate on them, then you can't see this display. So try to get one that has that slight slanted, or the scale part where you're weighing things is that little bit raised, because otherwise it's kind of a pain in the butt. You end up stacking things on top, and etc. So this is a very useful tool if someone is very serious about their nutrition goals. The caveat to this is if this person has had any kind of disordered eating, which you may or may not know about, which can make this tough, then the scale might not be the most appropriate gift or tool for them at this time. I think it is a really helpful tool, but probably needs to be implemented by a professional when and where it's appropriate for that person. So I'll say just know your person, try to figure out if it's a good idea or not for them. Next on my list is just glass Tupperware. You can get stainless steel. Those are my two options I think are the best, but some really, really good glassware for bringing your lunch, bringing your meals with you. That is going to be a part of your journey, most likely, if you're trying to be a long-term healthy person. It's just a really, really helpful piece of kit to have on hand. So definitely recommend. I would just say kind of lunch sizes, and then also trying to get some that are really large to say batch prepare things as well. Like this. This would be a really great, I mean, this is like 8 cups, so really big quality glass container that's going to hold a lot of food. So if you batch prep things, this is really going to make it easy to just put it all away in one fell swoop. And $35, not too bad. So I'm not sure I got the size on this right. This is a giant mixing bowl. And I have to say, I made fun of my husband so much when he bought this off of Amazon. I was like, what did you buy? Is this massive box? And I can't tell you now how much we use this. We use this every single week, if not multiple times a week, whether it's marinating proteins that we're going to cook up for the week, or vegetables, or big salads when we're hosting. This thing is huge. I don't know if I actually got the right size. At Mars, ours is probably bigger than 20 quarts, but it's only $23. And now it's one of my favorite kitchen tools. So as long as you can store it, I think this is a really, really good buy. Next on my list is wooden chopping boards or cutting boards. Ones that are pretty durable. I'm just trying to phase out my plastic ones. It's not a big concern on my list as far as like people kind of fear-mongering over like microplastics and things like that. I think there's a lot of ways we can get plastic in our environment. So if I can gradually just decrease one, why not? And these look really pretty. Okay, cast iron skillets. This was one of my favorite very first like health purchases, which might sound really funny, but this is so helpful. So I probably should move this up the list as far as utility. And when I put together that list of all the things that I've mentioned in this video, I'll try to put it higher up on the list because this is really affordable. When I was younger, I used to think they were really, really expensive, and I feel like they've gotten more affordable. This is a 15-inch one, so it's a little bit larger. You can find them in like 12-inch ones, or you can even find like little camping ones, little tiny ones, which are kind of cute. But we cook in this all the time. It's our default one to use. The really cool thing about this is that if you are plant-based or you have low iron, this can actually help. It's cast iron, it's made out of iron. It'll actually give you a little bit of iron in the meal that you are cooking in this. So this is great for people that are plant-based that aren't going to have red meat in their diet. Yes, you can get it from iron supplements or from some plant-based sources, but this is also a really great way to increase your iron intake. And I think it cooks things really well. I absolutely love using this. You can use it on the stovetop. You can use it in the oven. You can broil things in it. It's just so useful. Next is the Instapot. So this, if you're watching this, my Amazon is ratting me out and it's telling me I bought this in 2016. I did, and I still have it and I love it. I think they're getting pretty affordable now, $65 to get an Instapot. You can get a bigger size and obviously spend more money from 3 quarts, 6 quarts, 8 quarts. If you have a family, I would definitely get the bigger one, but this is such a time saver. You can throw protein in there and it'll cook all night, and you have meal prep done in the morning. So this is so helpful. It also has a ton of different functions. So this is probably one of the best things you can do to help out your meal prep game. Next, as far as appliances, is an air fryer. The downside to an air fryer, I think they are fantastic if you are someone who does not like vegetables, because you can make them really crispy and really interesting to eat. It's honestly going to taste like you're eating fried food, and it's not. So if you are not a vegetable fan and you're struggling to get enough vegetables in, struggling to get enough fiber in, this is a fantastic option for you. So highly recommend this. It's not necessarily the cheapest appliance, but I think it's really good. My only downsides to buying an air fryer is that it doesn't necessarily batch prep a lot. So this is great for making dinners fresh, but I don't know if I would use this necessarily for meal prep, because we might not keep the crispness of the vegetables I just make all week long. It's still really helpful. It would be harder to use with a family, smaller batches, things like that. But again, if you are not a great vegetable eater, this is one of the best things you can get. And this is around $120. They've gotten a lot cheaper, so could be an option. Next is these little mini milk frothers. It's called a milk frother wand. I love these for mixing supplements into water. This is great to help me mix in my fiber powders, creatine with water, protein powders. It's great for obviously frothing milk for like lattes and coffees and things. So I think this is a great little gift for your health foodie, especially if they like coffee and drinks and things like that. This would be a great addition, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $18 or less. Next is definitely on my wish list. It is a Ninja Creamy. If you haven't heard about these, they've been around for a couple years now, and they are amazing. They've gotten amazing reviews. I mean, this ad on Amazon already has almost 11,000 reviews, and it's like almost 5-star rating. So these are pretty great. This is a great way to get more protein in if you love ice cream, essentially, because it has a bunch of recipes that come with it. Plus, if you look online, there's tons more recipes. Basically a great way to make gelato, milkshakes, sorbets, smoothie bowls, basically like ice cream alternatives. It is $180, so not necessarily the cheapest option, but I have never had anybody say they wish they didn't buy this. It does take up counter space. I've definitely had some clients be like, oh, look what my husband bought. I'm so annoyed that it's taking up more counter space. And then they flip their story real quick, and it soon becomes their favorite appliance. And they're having protein-based ice cream every night. Next on my list is big sheets for roasting vegetables. I didn't really source out or try too hard to find like the perfect one, really. But if you have really big ones, like the max that your oven can take size-wise, it's really, really helpful, because then you can just chop up a bunch of vegetables or do some of those one sheet pan recipes, and you're just washing one piece of equipment. And that is so, so helpful. So get as big of one as you can fit possibly in your oven. They are so, so helpful to have around. Next for appliances, a high-powered blender or food processor. These are super helpful whether you're making soups, whether you are baking. They've also got more affordable. I remember these being more expensive, but for a Ninja professional blender, about $60. So that could be a good one. Some of them also have a warming function, so you can make soups in them as well. I really like this Cuisinart food processor. I got one as a gift in college, and I still have it. My mom's one that she got, I think when she was first married, lasted like 30 plus years. So they are really built to last. I highly recommend them. They're not the cheapest. This one in particular is $250, but I know there's a lot of cheaper options out there. If that one seems too intense, I would definitely recommend a more like single serve type one. It's really good if someone just likes to make a quick smoothie and that's the main thing they'll be using it for. That could be a great option. And this one is $40. Also, if you do some digging, you can find some all-in-one deals. Ninja has one all-in-one blender, food processor. So that could be a good bundle, and all of that is for $180. All right, the next section I want to talk about is about food. So one, you can give them a gift card to either their favorite grocery store or maybe a fancy grocery store if they are pretty dialed in about buying the food that is just going to fill their meals. It's a great mindset to have. But me personally, I love it when I'm such a nerd. But when people give me gift cards to like Natural Grocers or Life Source or Whole Foods or something like that, because then you can kind of go on a little treasure hunt. This is definitely for the health enthusiasts. I don't think this is required by any means for someone who's just getting started in their health journey. You do not need to spend a fortune on groceries to be a healthy person. That is definitely want to bust that myth right now. But it is kind of fun. I enjoy grocery shopping and finding kind of like the healthier, fun treats and things or healthier versions of like candy bars or things like that. So giant nerd, but we know that. Next is the fancy olive oils or balsamics that you can find. If you've ever gone like wine tasting, sometimes those areas will also do like oil and vinegar tastings, which I think is just so cool. So especially if someone is really into flavors or maybe they're getting really burnt out on the same old like healthy food flavors, this is a great way to add variety. You can get different flavored olive oils, different types of balsamics that can add a lot of flavor to their salads or their marinades. So that could be really good. I found some on Amazon like $24 and up. You can obviously spend probably a lot of money on this, or you can kind of keep it pretty reasonable and just get them a couple. But that could be something that's really thoughtful, not terribly normal. So you might get some extra bonus points on being creative with that gift. And kind of in the same vein, my next suggestion would be a variety pack of spices or seasonings. Maybe you can ask them what they would like. I know there are some you can search for like low calorie sauces if they're a big sauce person, or if they really like salad dressings, something of that nature, or maybe just getting them a spice or seasoning kit if they are pretty new to setting up their kitchen or revamping their kitchen options. That could be really good. And just like a small starter one. So I found this one on Amazon. It's pretty affordable, $35 for a 24 gourmet spice cooking, grilling, rubs, mixed spices, herbs, spices, seasonings kit, all purpose seasonings kind of. So this is a good probably place to start. It's not too much. I believe the sizes of the bottles are pretty small, but and again, it's just to get someone's interest maybe or figure out which ones they really like. So that could be a good option to start with. This next one's a little bit more creative, but I would also consider getting someone gift cards to maybe some local spots, whether it's their favorite restaurant or restaurants that are near their work that are maybe semi-healthy options. If you need help, ask their nutritionist and they can help. This is something that I do all the time for my clients. They'll tell me where their work building is, and I'll do a little Google search, look at some local menus, and kind of say, hey, if you're going to this lunch spot, this is what I would order. I think this would work really well. If you're going here, I would recommend this. So that's definitely something that comes along with my one-on-one client coaching. You could also ask them. Maybe they know, and you can find some local restaurants to support with a gift card. In a similar vein, I would also suggest considering local meal prep companies. We have some great ones in the Salem and Portland area. And All In Meals is definitely at the top of my list, allinmeals.com. But they're a great option. They have really good sizes too. So whether you're a small average size person like me or a large male that's fairly athletic, they have some bigger sizes as well. Another one I really like is My Fit Foods. They're also local to the Portland area and also pretty big in Texas too. But I really like those as well. So even if you don't know these companies very well, maybe your person doesn't either, if you can just get them a couple meals, get them a gift card, they can try it out, see if it's going to be a good option for them. I would also highly encourage that person to not get all of their meals from that meal service. That's a great way to get burned out on their menu. And these companies can only have so big of a menu. So don't get burned out on them. Maybe pick like 5 lunches, or if your week's really busy, that's when you lean more heavily on these services. And that's a great way to make this a little bit more sustainable and not get burned out. Next, I want to talk about fitness movement related items. So number one that came to mind is a walking pad for someone's office. Now, I live on a farm, so I feel like it's ridiculous for me to have a walking pad, even if the weather is bad, like I got space to walk. So it's not for myself, although I think I would use it. A lot of my clients, like me, have a desk job. And if we can get some more steps while we're taking a meeting, while we're on a Zoom call, while we're in between calls or just working on our computers, I think this would be super helpful. And luckily for you, I have a recommendation from a client, and she uses this a lot. She has a desk job, and I really appreciate her recommendations. She's had a couple of these, like they've lasted years. She's getting like 10,000 plus steps a day on her office days. Like it's crazy how much she walks. So I really appreciate her recommendation. But $290 for this one. It's a 2-in-1 under the desk electric treadmill, motorized exercise machine with wireless speakers, etc. Lots of things. These are generally not meant to like be like run on, but just simply walking. So you can definitely find more affordable ones for sure. I would definitely say this is more for walking versus like you might need an actual treadmill or bigger treadmill if you want to run on it. But she's really liked it and she's, recommended it very highly to other clients as well. Next, I would say gym clothes. We already kind of touched on that. Home equipment. Little asterisk with the home equipment. I just see a lot of people not using it. So I would definitely have a good discussion with them if possible and ask them what would be or when they were maybe most successful with this stuff. Maybe they did better with going to a gym or having a gym membership. They stayed more accountable or with a personal trainer, something like that before maybe heavily investing in some home equipment. I myself am a very active person, could definitely work out from home, but I know I just do better when I go to the gym. So just have that in mind if that's really the best money spent. Otherwise, little things can be helpful, like a foam roller, heating pad for sore muscles, a yoga mat, maybe a massage gun. Essential oils are pretty useful for like some sore muscles. And maybe little things like kettlebells, dumbbells, maybe a barbell in the garage, some bumper plates, like a small setup for when life just gets busy and we need an option. Some things like that. But definitely have a discussion whether that's a great way to spend your money or if they would benefit more from just going to a gym. Really depends on the person. Next is services. So the number one thing on my list, no, it's not nutrition coaching, that is on the list, but my number one thing as far as services on my list is therapy sessions. If more of us, how about that? Let's just say that. If more of us had therapy, we would probably solve a lot of other problems. And I mean this in the sense of when my clients have better tools to handle stressors, anxiety, depression, those other things that make generally healthy habits, like going out for a walk, like making a balanced meal, when they have the tools to make those other things easier, that allows them to then focus on the food side of things and the exercise side of things are like smooth as butter. So I highly recommend this as an option. Granted, it is maybe a hard gift to give, but hopefully, again, have the conversation with your person because this can really help overall with their health journey. Okay, the next one on my list is nutrition gift cards. So if someone has expressed interest in getting some help, this is especially probably appropriate for people that have tried to go the DIY route for a really long time and maybe they need some outside help. I do want a caveat of like this should be with their knowledge. I have had somebody reach out and say they very lovingly, but he bought his wife 3 months of nutrition coaching with me and then called the next couple days because when he tried to give the gift, it did not go over well. So just make sure that that's probably a good option. Maybe plant the seed of like, have you ever considered working with a personal trainer or working with a coach or something along those lines? If you were to work with a coach, what program? Have you looked into programs? Maybe this program. What do you think about this program? Etc. So maybe do some shopping. Maybe if they have an accountability buddy or a gym buddy, something like that, maybe you can kind of ask them of like, what program would they really like that they're hopefully already interested in? Yeah. So you don't have mishaps like that and I don't have to refund someone's money because they didn't want the gift. The next kind of service I thought would be really cool is like a pantry clean out. So I think fixing your environment to get it really neat and tidy and just like more helpful for you. So maybe this is getting your house cleaned. Maybe this is getting someone to organize your pantry. This could be really helpful. I would also say this could be a really cool like kid to parent gift. As a kid, we would also do like little gift cards for our parents of like, I'll wash the car or I'll do this, like little chore things. So these little gift cards are like vouchers. We still do this just in different format, but little chores, little things to like projects that we can help our parents out with that are kind of non-money things. And I really like these. So a pantry clean out could be good. It could be say, hey, let's clean out the garage and get it all set up for your home gym or whatever. So that could be a really good idea as well that maybe doesn't cost you any money, but it costs you some time, some quality time. Next is gym membership. So maybe a package of classes or personal training. If this person has never done any lifting before, even if they've just done a little bit, I would highly recommend that they get some personal training sessions and maybe choose a gym format, workout format that also kind of teaches you as it goes. So like small groups, things like that. So eventually, if it makes more sense, whether, it comes down to finances or time or whatever kind of constraint, they've learned how to work out and how to move in a safe way because they've had coaching for a while. Then they can move into doing solo workouts with a little bit more confidence. If you want a list of local gyms for the Salem area, I have a huge list of gyms that I really, really believe in. So make sure that you check out the handout that's associated with this. Next would be a massage gift card. So do some research. Maybe a massage would also go well with, hey, once you're working really hard in the gym, we're going to need some body maintenance, keep you feeling good. So massages could be, I think massages are always well appreciated. In that same vein, physical therapy sessions. So the beauty of today's world with direct to consumer, call it healthcare, there's a lot of physical therapists that work directly with people and not necessarily through insurances. So you can just book a physical therapy appointment. So if you've found that, your left shoulder is giving you trouble and you can't quite hit your workouts like you really want to, maybe you go see a private practice physical therapist. I, again, have two listed in the handout if you're local to the Salem area. Love them both. Definitely recommend them. Next, I have three apps that I think are very helpful subscriptions that could be another good gift. Number one is a meditation app. Calm, I think, is a really good useful resource that clients have enjoyed in the past. I haven't personally done it myself, but also I want to say there's a free option on Spotify. So if you want to buy someone a gift, or if you just are looking into a resource for yourself, there's lots of meditation apps or meditation recordings on various streaming services. I would also say you could turn that into kind of a personal voucher where you say, hey, let's take up meditation. We're going to meditate together as a couple, 3 times a week or after we get off work as kind of a quality time thing. And again, it can be free. Next one I would highly recommend, I'm 100% biased on this, but 1 year of Gold Chronometer app subscription. It is only $50. MyFitnessPal, I think, is like $50 or 40 something dollars a month. And I don't think it's nearly as good as Chronometer. Chronometer has so much information that is more relevant to your health beyond just macros and calories and things like that. So we used it in grad school. It was way more reliable for the amounts of vitamins and minerals and actual nutrition that was in our food versus just calories and macros. And they've got a bunch of really cool tools that they've added in, including taking recipes directly from blogs, and you can just put it straight into Chronometer and it will give you the recipe. It will enter it automatically. It also has the AI function where you can just snap a picture and it will guess what your meal is. So lots of good functions that I highly recommend. Next is a mobility app. I find this is really helpful for keeping people in the gym if they stretch, if they mobilize, if they keep their joints healthy, etc. So one I've used in the past is Pliability. I think they have a free version like most apps, but you can certainly do your research and find other ones. But this would be great, especially if your person is a rather stiff or tight individual that keeps getting injured. This would be a great one. Maybe pair it with a yoga mat. Next category is sleep. So if you don't sleep well, if your person doesn't sleep well, it's kind of bougie, but maybe a new mattress, maybe some new pillows, new books. Maybe try to make the bedroom a no screen zone and try to really promote that as a new healthy habit going into 2026. Hey, we're going to read. Hey, we're going to listen to audios. I guess that's a screen. Hey, we're going to read before bed, things like that, or maybe meditate before bed. A weighted blanket could be really cool. An eye mask. I will link one that me and my husband really like, and it was like $8-9, super cheap, and it feels really high quality, so soft and really, really durable. My next favorite sleep related thing is a sunrise alarm clock. So these can get pretty pricey if you type them in to Amazon, like $160, $170. This is my favorite little guy right here, $29. Less than $30. This is my MVP of like getting better sleep. Between this and blackout curtains and the eye mask, like I sleep like a baby. This thing is so good. What's really great about it is that you set the alarm. So say this morning we set our alarm for 5:30. It starts very gradually getting light at 5 o'clock. So it gives you like a 30-minute warm up to actually getting awake. And this is so much better instead of just having that jolt of like, oh, got to get up with like a really loud alarm clock. So I absolutely love this thing. It just kind of gradually wakes you up, and you can change the sound, whether you want it to be peaceful rain or waves or whatever, waking you up in the morning, birds chirping. I just can't say enough good things about this sunrise alarm clock. So this is the exact eye mask that we have. And yeah, it's less than $9 right now. They come in cool colors. They're really comfortable. They're so unbelievably soft, easy to wash. We love them. Absolutely love them. All right, next is stocking stuffers. I'm so excited for this one. So I really wanted to share this part of it because I think I'm so grateful for my family. They make being healthy really easy on us and really still fun. Like I don't feel deprived of anything, but our stockings are so freaking cool to the point of like, we don't really do gifts now. We just try to make our stockings really fun. So my aunt and uncle usually come over for Christmas and they bring like really cool like gym socks. They have really fun like dark chocolate or treats like that. We'll do like flavored nuts or electrolyte packets or our favorite protein bars. They'll try to do like healthier versions of like different chocolate bars. We'll try to get like healthier versions of like traditional candies that we really like healthier Reese's. Also in the list that's associated with this, I will put my favorite protein bars. There's a lot of really good plant-based ones that still give you a good amount of protein. That's hard to find with a plant-based one. Sometimes they're not actually that high in protein because they come from plants. And I'll also make a list of the dairy or whey-based ones as well. But they taste as good as candy bars, and they're really helpful snacks anyway, so why not put them in a stocking? Next is on my list is Verb bars. I absolutely love these. They're little caffeinated bars. They have 80 milligrams of caffeine. They're tiny little like 2-bite bars, and you're just like get your perfect little buzz. Great pre-workout, but I absolutely love those. And they have ones that come with 10 grams of protein, so you get a little bit of a protein hit too. And I believe they're non-dairy as well. Next is coffees or teas. So maybe different coffee brands or different teas, loose leaf teas to go with their teapot. We'll also usually do like barbecue sauces or different salad dressings, different seasonings, spice packets, rubs, marinades, sometimes homemade trail mix. This was one of my favorite things to do in college. I would just go to the local store that had like a bulk section and make like personalized trail mix jars for everybody. And I thought it was the coolest little like personalized thing. Turns out it was really expensive to ship home, but it's the thought that counts. We've also done soaps from like local vendors or like off of Etsy, trying to use some like smaller local options, mini deodorant sticks for your gym bag, any like little gym equipment like wrist wraps, knee sleeves, maybe like a belt, or journals or notebooks, whether to use for their workouts or recipes or just journaling in general. A new calendar that they can use as a habit tracker. And then maybe some fitness related stickers to go with their calendar. All right, as we wrap up, I want to talk about how to choose the right gift. We talked about this a little bit throughout, but how would you rate your person that you're thinking of? Are they a beginner? Are they seasoned health nerds? Like where they land on the spectrum? Because the more seasoned the person is, I'm probably more likely to buy them something like an Aura ring or a Whoop strap, something that they'll really use. Granted, you know them best, but just keep that in mind. Also, like we said, if they've been doing the DIY version for a while, do it themselves, maybe it would be really great to invest in coaching. And if you're not sure where to invest coaching, whether that's therapy, whether it's nutrition coaching, whether that is personal training, maybe just give them that voucher of like, hey, this is $300, $100 towards personal training or something like that. So that could be a good way of still giving the gift, showing your intention, showing your support, but also allowing them to choose. So just think really hard about what tools do they need? Do they need accountability? Do they need a professional in their life that can make it helpful? What barriers or what friction can you remove in their life? What seems to get them stuck all the time? How can we help that? Is it a tool? Is it a service? Maybe you've seen them be really successful in the past, and maybe you can try to figure out the missing link from then versus now, what's different, and how you can support them. I would also consider something that they would not buy themselves, because I've seen this with family or clients in the past of like money isn't necessarily the object. They could probably buy it for themselves, but they just don't because it feels really indulgent, or they feel like they should be able to do it without the help or anything like that. So maybe think along those lines as well. All right, gifts to avoid. Please don't click off this podcast before we go over this, because this is important so you don't get in trouble with your spouse or loved one. You should never give anything with the message of like, you need to lose weight. You could really use this. Try to put it in the card or make sure you're presenting it as, I know this has been really important to you. Your health goals have been really important to you. I am so aware of like my language around this stuff. And I think it's okay to want to change your health or your body composition if you want to within healthy, reasonable means, obviously. But be really intentional, because I think this really bleeds over into how successful that person is going to be, as if we are from day one, we're presenting this from just such a positive place. So I wouldn't recommend any extremely restrictive diet books. I wouldn't recommend supplements. The few supplements that I have included actually as stocking stuffers has been the gummy version ones. And I do kind of present them as more of a treat, like the apple cider vinegar gummies, or like I've done elderberry gummies before, just as kind of like, again, a healthier gummy option. But I'm not really getting people specific supplements. I think that would be a weird and not recommended gift, because a lot of people take supplements that might not be great for them or might not be doing anything, because these gifts should empower, they should support the person. They shouldn't put additional pressure on somebody to quote like be successful or hit a weight loss goal in a certain amount of time. I know these gifts are usually surprises, but maybe some of these have a conversation around it, or like I said, do one of those vouchers to make sure that you get the gift that is going to be most helpful for that person, and it might take a little collaboration with them. And lastly, please listen to this part. Lastly, make sure that you are ready to support them beyond the gift. After you give the gift, that support that you can give them is worth more than any dollar amount. It's literally priceless. You supporting your person is literally priceless versus probably any tool that you could get them. A big indicator of success for clients that I've noticed is if their spouse is really on board. The spouse or people in the family, they don't necessarily have to eat the same diet that person is, but they should really make it easy for them. You don't want to add barriers to your person being successful. Otherwise, it's just going to be a constant uphill battle the whole time. And we want this stuff to be sustainable. We want it to be a lifestyle. So please make sure that you're ready to support your person. All right. Like I said, make sure that you download this list by subscribing to the Free Shit Friday email list. You can do that at parksidenutrition.com/subscribe. Make sure you are following on YouTube and Instagram to get those menu review posts. They're so helpful, especially if you're traveling during the holidays. And lastly, please share this. Share this with a friend. Comment, like, subscribe on YouTube, anything to help me grow the show. I am forever grateful. And if you have another topic that I should cover, just send me a message, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.